Planning a fishing trip shouldn't feel like a full-time job. With FishingBooker.com, you can find and book the perfect fishing trip within minutes. FishingBooker.com connects you with trusted fishing captains around the world. Booking is fast, easy, and secure, with access to verified customer reviews, loyalty rewards, and around-the-clock customer support. Everything you need to book with confidence is in one place. So head to FishingBooker.com and start planning your next fishing adventure today.
I didn't think the pain from the shingles rash would affect simple, everyday tasks like bathing, getting dressed, or even walking around. I was wrong. Though not everyone at risk will develop it, 99% of people over the age of 50 already have the virus that causes shingles, and it could reactivate at any time. I developed it, and the blistering rash lasted for weeks. Don't learn the hard way, like I did. Talk to your doctor or pharmacist today. Sponsored by GSK.
All right, welcome back to the Survival and Basic Badass Podcast with Kevin and Chuck. Today, we're going to talk codes. Now, sending encrypted messages has been a thing for a long time, and believe it or not, it's actually really turned the tides in a lot of wars of whether you can remain secure or not remain secure. I worry, as far as digital stuff, your average guy, and by average guy, I mean 99% of us, you're not going to be able to send some kind of digital encrypted thing that the NSA isn't going to be like, oh, this is some hard shit here. What are we going to do?
Never seen this before.
We haven't seen that. I mean, there's a billion different encrypted things. There's, a bunch of, you can buy like the secure cell phones and different things and whatever. So I'm not really going to focus that heavy on that because, do your research, find what you can find. But I actually think there's some simpler methods that might make it pretty tricky. There's a lot of things through history that like people like George Washington, different things, have done that really might play out if we had an EMP and stuff like that. And you're sending, hand-delivered letters or whatever, or even we don't have an EMP and you're sending emails and you don't want somebody to figure it out. In the past, I mentioned that people thought they were really clever. They would have two people have the same email account, and like you would write a draft.
Right.
And rather than send it because it's not transmitted, they were able to, kind of pass messages back and forth.
Right. You could be on the other side of the planet and just access the email and read the draft.
Even on a simple level, Gmail, if you have a Gmail account, Google's reading your drafts. You don't even have to worry about sending.
Really?
So they already got your shit covered. So my guess is that the NSA or people who figure out shit like this, they got that one worked out.
Mm-hmm.
You know what it was? I probably mentioned it here, and then they
got wind.
You know what? Fuck, that's what those guys were doing.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I mean, I mentioned, that it's actually turned the tides of wars.
Right.
World War II, Germans and the Enigma machine.
The Enigma machine.
Now, this thing, they were able to keep things secret until they had that submarine that got captured. And then we kind of got our own Enigma machine.
Right.
Then, not so good, whatever.
Well, the problem with the Enigma machine is there are something like 100 million variations where you could set it up. There were 3 dials. Each dial had 26 variations. And then each letter could be connected to be replaced with another letter. So you type an A, and it follows, it goes to a P.
Right.
And then it goes through the variations of the 26 times 3. So you have it set to a certain point, and it has to be reset every day, or your Enigma machine doesn't work because everybody else is on a different thing. So if you have the Enigma machine, you still have to get that day's code. So once they captured the Enigma machine, they were able to figure out how it works. But then they still had to get day-to-day carriers. Basically, a piece of paper would be written out and sent to individual companies, the soldiers. So they had to capture somebody, and then they could read that day's messages.
Nice. So now, turns out, as smart as I am, I've cracked the Enigma code.
Oh, yeah?
And you're like, well, Chuck, how is this possible? Turns out there's an app.
Oh, really?
You go in the Apple store,
Mm-hmm.
you can download the Enigma Machine app, and you can type in something straight out of the Enigma Machine,
Nice.
and it'll spit it right out for you.
Mm-hmm.
Now, they actually made like 3 different variations of this, or maybe even more, as time went on, because as things were getting figured out, they kept kind of updating it and whatever. But the problem is, if you transmit your updates, then you know it doesn't end as well as you think it might.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing, codes. We had our own little experience in World War II with those Navajo code talkers.
Yeah, overlooked a lot,
Yep.
but they just used their native language.
Turns out all they had to do was talk.
Yeah, all they had to do was talk, and that was one of the few codes the Japanese were never able to crack.
That's a pretty amazing thing there, that your language would be so unique that...
Right. It's not even decipherable.
I wonder, how, like, what is it, paleontologists or whoever throughout the years, people who look at, history and like that, how they justify that, because all the languages seem to, they all come out of Latin of some way or different things, and they have ties. For a language and a whole, group of people to just be totally isolated and unique,
I think,
that's pretty amazing.
I think they estimate that language popped up separately in 3 different places. So there are three
origins.
Three groups of languages that are unique from one another. Like the Chinese, for example, they don't use words like the and a. They just have the verbs and the nouns. But you go to Germany,
saying that Canada doesn't come from the Chinese language.
What's that?
So Canada doesn't come from the Chinese language?
No.
No? Okay.
With their A.
All right. Maybe that one fell flat a little bit.
You go to Germany and they have 3 different words for the.
Okay.
So, I mean, it's interesting, but the Navajo natives, they obviously didn't have words for things like tanks and planes and things like that in their language. So they used different words, like bird and turtle for a tank.
Because that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. So then they would just, just have an understanding of what these specific words meant.
Right. Not bad.
Now, let's talk real quick about what they call one-time codes.
All right.
A one-time code is a prearranged word or phrase that is used to convey a simple message, such as to abort or execute an attack. They're basically unbreakable unless you know the prearranged code word. Like
that's
one
where
if
they
by
got to
land,
pull your
two
toenails out.
That's right.
Right. Okay.
One if by land, 2 if by sea. The Paul Henry one, Paul Revere one.
Paul Revere.
So you're not gonna notice the 2 lamps on the on the bell tower and be like, oh, they know we're coming. They know their ships are coming up. The Japanese used climb Mount Nitaka, and that was the code word for the attack on Pearl Harbor to commence the attack.
Nice.
Then in Spain, to begin the nationalist military revolt in Spain, the code word that went out over the radio was "Over all of Spain, the sky is clear." And it's just like some examples of how one-time codes have been used in history, but it happened quite a bit. Another thing that falls under that one-time code use would be if I were to say send Chuck a text message with just things that he would understand, by being very vague, communication between me and him that he and I would understand what it meant, but it would be basically meaningless to somebody on the outside. All right, so then my favorite, the idiot code.
Tell me about the idiot code. Now, this sounds like something I can get behind.
Yeah, this is something I feel like I could do. Basically, the idiot code is similar to the one-time code in the sense that you're developing basically like a secret language, like when you see baseball players and they're touching their brim of their hat and they're doing
grabbing their crotch, sniffing,
and
yeah,
all those things mean something.
Like so their balls itch.
Right.
So
what basically I would send a text message to Chuck, and the first sentence of the word started with an A or a C, or the fifth letter or whatever. But you would have it prearranged that C meant, plan A, go with plan A. If it was the letter D, it would be go with, plan B. So you would have it, prearranged in a sense that you knew what I was talking about, but nobody else would. And they wouldn't even necessarily know to look for a code in there.
Right. So that would typically be like a cipher.
Yeah. Yep.
The way I would interpret that. Mm-hmm. A lot of that, like the British and American spies used to do a lot of that type of stuff. Benedict Arnold. Mm-hmm. That was one of his things, that his letters, he had a specific cipher when like a letter or symbol were used in place of the real word, which is what you're saying.
Right.
Like A or, whatever, meaning, the opposite.
Mm-hmm.
In order to decode it, obviously, the recipient would have to have the list like you're talking about and be able to get into it. So
a lot of them, a lot of the codes that I've seen, you see them a lot in movies and things where they'll have a page with little squares cut out of the page that lays over a letter.
Yes.
And then just isolates the individual letters that you're gonna be reading, or to make a code out of a letter or a page in a book or something like that.
They call it a mask letter.
There you go.
They had one of the earlier examples that I've seen. August 10th, 1777. Henry Clinton to John Burgoyne. The British used to type a secret writing that appears to have been unknown to the Americans. Mm-hmm. Sir Henry Clinton composed letters that were meant to be read through a mask or grill, but basically it was like a template. And so like the one I think that they talk about in this letter, when I was reading the article, they took it looked like a vase. Mm-hmm. And it was cut out of a piece of paper, a cardboard template, whatever, and you would lay it on top of the letter. Mm-hmm. And so it would cut out all the outer edges, and you would just read the words that fit into the template. Mm-hmm. And that's like that mask you're talking about. And the idea is you want it to make sense without the template, and then make sense with.
Right.
And you got to be able to,
right. You can't just have a page of gibberish. If somebody finds it, they'll know something's up.
They'll know something's up, and they'll be able to kind of piece it together. Mm-hmm. So, different ideas, different things you guys can think about. Because honestly, communication, that's one of the key ways in being able, to win a war, win a fight against somebody, is being able to communicate.
Yeah, Thomas Jefferson built a secure method to encode messages. He used the wheel cipher. Now, if you go online, you can find pictures of this. But basically, it was an axle or a rod that different wheels would be on, and all around the wheel would be different letters. And if you had the right key to the cipher, you could align the wheels in a certain way so that it would deliver a message.
Right. And that, like, if you guys saw the Da Vinci Code or whatever, I think it looked like one of those ciphers. You know, they sell the little, lockbox where you line it all up. It's that kind of thing.
Right.
Same thing, another back to George Washington. They, believe it or not, were big on invisible ink.
Yes.
Invisible ink was a thing. And they actually used to mark the letters, would have an F or an A up on the top. And if it had an F, you knew that you would kind of hold it by fire and the heat would activate the invisible ink. Or A for acid, which, if you saw that movie, was it Treasure Hunters, or what was the one with Nicolas Cage?
Oh, National Treasure.
National Treasure, and he breaks out the lime juice on the back of the, or the whatever, lemon.
How dare you?
How dare, with John Voight.
That's just gonna destroy that paper.
And but that's the kind of thing, He's like, oh, I got some lemon in my cocktail, and squeeze it on there, and you're good to go, right?
How dare you?
Shame. But these different things, they talk about the ones with the books, where two people would have the same book, and they'd use like a Bible or whatever. But the thing is, you have to have two copies that are the same edition.
Right. So,
a Bible that you have, page 237, might be different than a Bible that I have.
Right.
Page 237.
It has to be. And at that time,
printed handwriting things.
Yeah, printed books like that were very expensive. So you had to, and they basically had to come from the same press.
Right. So that's something to think about. But now, there's a million books, and everybody's got, obviously your copy of Atlas Shrugged.
Right. Well, it probably would match yours. I think they're probably
right.
They're probably the same ones. Actually.
But that's whatever. You'd have something like that. Mm-hmm. But you could they had different things, like some guys would do with words. So they would actually be like fifth line, second word, and that'd be one word. But you'd have to know, I'll start at page 200 or whatever. Mm-hmm. And, and then page whatever. And, they'd go through, and if people didn't have the right book, they couldn't match it up. But believe it or not, being able to communicate securely, and maybe you trust that your guy who's going to go 100 miles to whatever isn't going to get captured or whatever, and ruin all your plans. And,
that's how Hannibal was defeated by the Romans. He actually wrote out his entire battle plan and had 3 couriers take it to his brother, and all 3 of them were captured. And there was no code, no nothing. He should have had the guys memorize the battle plan and then
take it to the grave.
But nope.
No.
That's why he was the loser in history.
So, obviously this isn't some big, great insight that we're giving you. But what I'm looking at is I want you guys to think about it and kind of understand this kind of stuff can make a real difference in, OPSEC, in keeping your preps and your everything secure, keeping your battle plans, your coordinations. I don't know what world this applies in, but I know that a lot of people who've gone to battle, this is what makes the difference.
Right.
And
even just some basic code words in your day-to-day life with your family makes sense. If you send somebody to pick up your kid because you can't make it, they say to have a code word. If you're making a phone call and you're under duress,
yes,
I like to use mandates.
Mandates. Because you're able to work that in almost any
that
conversation.
That could be any conversation. It isn't unusual at all when I'm talking on the phone to shout that out of nowhere. Or that is actually the code word I've used on airplanes when I've seen somebody suspicious.
Yeah.
I go to the person next to me. When I yell mandates, it's go time.
Oh no.
No, the under duress one, that's white man dingo.
White man dingo.
That's the one I use on the phone if I'm being forced to make a phone call.
All right, that makes a lot of things
just
more
work it
clear,
in a sentence, So, what else do you got on that?
That's about what I wanted to talk about as far as codes.
Okay. Now another thing that thing that's come up in the news a little bit lately was another code word when they're talking about Pizzagate.
Oh, are we back to Pizzagate?
We're back to Pizzagate now.
All right.
So there was like pepperonis were supposed to mean this and pizza was supposed to mean that. It just turns out it was just pizza. They're just talking about pepperoni.
Oh.
But
There's a but.
one of the Pizzagate guys has escaped. They went out to New Mexico, and they got a job as a janitor at a solar observatory.
Solar observatory?
That's right. The FBI raided a solar observatory in New Mexico,
Okay.
southern New Mexico, and,
Now, they just shut this place down.
right. Everybody out. Black Hawk helicopters. What
Black-
were they looking at this solar
Now,
observatory?
there were actually footage on the internet of Black Hawk helicopters circling the solar observatory.
That's right. So they cordoned everything off, and I saw all sorts of great conspiracy theories.
They evacuated a post office right next door.
Right?
Homes on top of the mountain. They were like, no, you can't stay here. You gots to go.
Gotta go.
They sent people out.
Taped everything off.
FBI, people rappelling down out of helicopters, God knows what. Swarm. Everybody in the building's got to leave right now.
What did they see in
Danger.
that solar observatory that drew the FBI to lock it down?
Now,
Is it aliens?
it might be.
I don't know.
It might be.
Alien invasion is beginning.
No, there was an article in the news today.
Something else happened.
It turns out that it wasn't aliens at all.
No?
Wasn't aliens. It wasn't the big gaping hole in the sun and the sun's going to tear itself apart and we're all
Okay.
going to die.
All right.
All this stuff that you might have been suspecting. It turns out this janitor
Solar-
you mentioned.
Solar mass ejections? No?
No coronal mass ejection.
Okay.
Turns out this janitor was on YouPorn
Okay.
and looking at child porn. I don't know if there's child porn on YouPorn.
I
just
think
imagine
that's a separate website
That's a
altogether.
different website?
That's you child porn.
that. You child porn.
www.
Oh no.
So
And so,
what
you're
you're
telling me, yeah.
So you're saying pedophile aliens
Yes.
are coming from Pizzagate,
Yes.
sent by Hillary Clinton?
Yes.
Because I look young. This is like terrifying me.
Well,
You know,
they're looking for the young
I'm
guys.
38, but I look like I'm 15.
But I don't understand. So you're telling me helicopters, FBI, shut the place down for 10 days.
Mm-hmm.
And because you think a guy's looking at porn. And then they made no arrests.
Right. So what does that mean?
I mean, if you're...
This sounds suspiciously like a cover-up.
It
They're trying to
does-
cover up pedophile aliens.
It does sound like there's a cover-up. So I'm a little concerned about it. Maybe you guys can send us some kind of coded message and let us know if you have more insight of what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also heard that the janitor said that there's a serial killer on the loose. So if
Really?
you're in southern Mexico and your laptop gets stolen, it was a serial killer, according to the janitor.
All right.
So just keep your eyes open. Either serial killers or pedophile aliens, but they're out there.
All right.
I want to believe.
I don't know why you wouldn't, Kevin. That's what I can tell you. So we did get a new tack pack in the mail this month.
All right.
Some kind of cool Misfits looking shirt.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow they appropriated the Fiend skull.
Right.
And it says tack pack on there. Has some little parachute logo they got going.
Mm-hmm.
Very impressive. I think they sent you one and me one, but they were both my size.
Yeah. Yep. You get both of them.
I worked that out. You see what I did there?
Yep.
Some kind of knife sharpener.
That I'm really impressed with. I'm gonna have to break that out
To
and,
say
and
it
do
looked
some
like
work on
it
that.
had a ceramic edge, had the diamond edge, had rough and smooth. You had a so you go to fine. A lot of good things going on there. They also had a muzzle brake, looked a little bit tough. I think it was from 5.56 Tactical. A lot of good stuff in there. Some more gun cleaning stuff. But I'm just saying, you guys might want to subscribe.
And how much is the tack pack?
I think it's $49.95 a month.
Okay.
And each month you get another box of mystery badass shit, usually totaling about $150 each month, which is, bang for your buck.
That's right.
If you're into guns and tactical shit, well, I would say if you're into AR-15s, this is the right thing for you.
Right.
They haven't sent me everything to build a new AR-15.
Pretty damn close now,
But
though.
after I've gotten everything, I was compelled to buy the extra parts and make an extra one just in case.
Right.
So I also know that if you use the code BADASS, they will send you a gun cleaning mat. Little extra stuff there, bonus.
Right.
Lets them know that you listen to this podcast and, they're sending us luxury gifts. It's always a good idea. It encourages that.
Uh-huh.
And I can get behind that if you can. Otherwise, you guys might want to head over to iTunes, leave a review, talk about how you like this podcast, because that helps spread the word. You might want to join us on Facebook, Survival Prepping, or no, Facebook.com/preppingbadass.
Right.
That'd be the
That's
one.
it.
And you can also search our Facebook group, Prepping Badass. Email us if you have questions or concerns. Or maybe you signed up, you gave us some money on Patreon, and you're like, but dude, Chuck, you haven't sent me my freaking patch yet. Shoot us an email at preppingbadass@gmail.com.
Now, if you're in Canada...
Get to it. If you're in Canada,
If you're
what?
in Canada, you may or may not get the patch because we have no understanding of how your zip codes work. It's some sort of
There are
secret.
letters?
There's like hashtags in there and stuff. I don't know
Letters,
what's going on.
numbers,
You will get a patch eventually.
hand signals. I don't know why. I put a couple of emojis on there. It's something crazy going on is what I can tell you.
Mm-hmm.
But with that, stay safe, and we'll talk to you guys next week.
The Survival and Basic Badass podcast is a proud member of the Self-Defense Radio Network.
Planning a fishing trip shouldn't feel like a full-time job. With FishingBooker.com, you can find and book the perfect fishing trip within minutes. FishingBooker.com connects you with trusted fishing captains around the world. Booking is fast, easy, and secure, with access to verified customer reviews, loyalty rewards, and around-the-clock customer support. Everything you need to book with confidence is in one place. So head to FishingBooker.com and start planning your next fishing adventure today.